Welcome back. Another day of notes. So today we are going to be taking our first set of grammar notes, which is going to be nouns. We're not going over. We're going to go over the basics and then of the different types of nouns, and then we're also going to talk compound nouns. Now, the main reason we go over compound nouns really is because when you start typing, we have the extension Grammarly, and it tends to mark those compound nouns. So I kind of want you guys to understand them so that you understand how to fix it if it's asking you to. So you guys set up your ISNs already. So what you're going to do today is you are most likely taking your very first set of notes. So you are going to go to your table of contents and you are going to put down that on pages 1 and 2, it's going to be on nouns. And then you're going to go to pages 1 and 2 and you're going to put today's date and then put nouns at the top. There was a video that you guys should have watched by now that taught you all of that. So it's just a reminder. I'll probably remind you at the beginning of each and every video that you guys have to fill out your table of contents and get your tops of your pages filled out. Once you have that all done, then let's get ready to take some notes. Okay, you guys, we're ready to take some notes. For these notes, you're going to need 6 foldables. Now, I'm doing this over the summer once again, so I'm using like last year's foldables. So my foldables might be different colors, okay? So ignore the colors and just make sure that you find the ones that look the same as mine. So you need 3 of them that say compound nouns on them, okay? So they look like that. So you need those 3, and then you need 3 of them for kinds of nouns, okay? Now, it just so happens that these are the same colors, like the 2 match up. That might not be the case. So make sure that you are looking at them so that you get the correct ones, okay? So real quickly, so for each of these, all I'm doing is I'm going to cut them up like that. So on all of the ones that say kinds of nouns, that's what I'm doing. For all of these, I'm going to cut out the puzzle piece, okay? Then I'm going to be taping them in, okay? And these are going to all flap, so just pay attention to kind of where I'm putting the tape, but this is going to go like fast forward through the taping, okay? So you can always watch the taping and then pause, but I am going to fast forward through the taping. Okay, hopefully you got that all taped in. You guys could kind of see what's going on. I'm hoping, I bet you didn't. But basically what I have is these are all taped down with 2 in between on both sides. I always start at the bottom when I'm taping because I want to leave some extra space at the top, okay? You guys should have already filled this out, but you should have a date here, and then you should have the word nouns. And then there should be a page number here. Same over on this side. There should be a date, and then it should say nouns. Okay? You want to label all of your pages. It just makes your notes easier to find and things like that. Okay, so we are going to be starting some notes today. We are going to be talking about nouns. So up at the top, we always put our definition. So what is a noun? Now, you've been learning about nouns since kindergarten. You probably start to define nouns in about 1st grade. So a noun is a person, place, thing. Now, a couple of years ago, they should have introduced one more item to your noun definition. So person, place, thing, or idea. Okay, and we'll talk about that just in case you guys haven't learned that fourth category for nouns. Now we're going to talk about the different kinds of nouns. So nouns can be sorted into several different categories. The first one is you can divide nouns up by common and proper. Okay, the way that I look at these is your common nouns are not specific. Okay, where your proper nouns are specific. And you know what else you do with these? These get capitalized. Okay, all proper nouns are capitalized. Okay, so if we look at the difference between these, remember this side is common, so something that's not specific would be school. Okay, school is a common noun. Okay, the difference would be if you wanted to name a specific school, like Rankin School. Okay, so this is a specific school and I've capitalized it. Do the same here. Teacher is not specific, where Mrs. Thompson is. Okay, you could say country is non-specific, and then you could say Canada. United States of America was a little long, so I went with a shorter country, but not specific, specific. So that's the difference. The big thing you need to remember is that proper nouns all get capitalized. I will not take work unless you have capitalized correctly. You're in 7th and 8th grade. I will not take things lowercase. Okay? So, next kind of category is concrete and abstract. Okay? Concrete are nouns you can touch. Okay? Where abstract, you can't touch. This is where that fourth noun comes in. Idea. Okay? These are your ideas. Okay? So, here are some examples. Okay? We have a physical piece of paper that is our Constitution. Okay? So our Constitution that you guys study in 8th grade and have to pass a test on, all of that, is something that you can touch. Now, obviously, you will go to jail if you touch the Constitution, but somebody can touch it. Okay? Where an idea that the Constitution stands for is maybe freedom or our rights. Okay? We have the Liberty Bell. Okay? You can go and see the Liberty Bell. You can attempt to touch it. I think once again, you probably can't get close enough. But this represents the idea of liberty. Okay? Some other things is like happiness. Happiness is a thing. You just can't touch it. Okay, so that's where these get tricky, these abstract ideas. They're not something that you can lay your fingers on. You can have love. Love is a thing. You can't touch love. Okay? You can touch a heart. Okay? But, so that's where these get a little tricky. So make sure that you're paying close attention if it's a thing or not. Okay? And then our last way that we can classify nouns is by singular, collective, and plural. Okay? So singular just means one. Okay? Plural means more than one. Okay? Now, this collective noun, this is a group, but it acts singular. Okay? So here's how it looks. Okay? So we're looking at, let's say, a baseball team. Okay? You have a player. A player is one person. Okay? For it to become plural, when I want to say more than one, I'm just going to turn it into players. Okay, I'm adding that S. Singular, plural, singular, plural. Collective. If I put all those players together, they create a team. Okay? Technically, there's more than one person on a team, but the team acts as one thing. It's a team. Okay? Even though there's a bunch of people on it, the team is singular. Okay? So that's considered a collective noun. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay? So that is your different kinds of nouns. That's how you can classify them. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk really with nouns on these noun notes is the 3 different kinds of compound nouns. Okay, got to figure out how to make this work so it looks good. Okay, so there are 3 kinds. I probably should have put a little bit more space between these, but that's okay. Okay, the first kind of compound noun, so these are all compound nouns. I'm not rewriting compound noun. Compound noun. Hopefully you guys catch that on. The first kind we have is called an open compound noun. Okay, this is treated as one word, but there's a space between. Okay, so here are some examples. Okay, when we talk about a living room, a living room is one room. We look at this as one word, but they're 2 different words, but we look at it as one thing. Same with real estate. Okay, it's a compound word with a space between it. Okay, so that's the first kind of compound noun. The second kind is called a closed compound noun. Okay, this is 2 words put together to form one. Okay, so words like bookstore, that is 2 words. I don't know if you saw those notes, so let's get that back and put that down. 2 words put together to form one. And the first example is bookstore. You also have something like fireman. Okay, technically book is its own word, store is its own word. They're just put together. Fire and man, 2 separate words, but they're put together to make one. And what I want you to understand is about language in general. The English language is always revolving or evolving. It is always evolving. So things change. So when the internet first became a thing, we used to have this word that looked like this. Okay? It used to have on with a hyphen and then the word line, and that would be online. Nowadays, because it is such a common word, it has become a closed compound noun. Okay, so that happens a lot. Like when things are brand new, when we're just forming like brand new compound words, a lot of times it'll start as a hyphenated compound and then evolve into a closed one. Okay. Okay, so the last one is a hyphenated. Oops, gotta spell hyphen, right? This is an H. Okay. Let's just try that again. Hyphenated. I'm not really digging my all cap letters, just to let you guys know. Okay, so these are 2 words that are related. Okay, so these are a little bit trickier. A lot of times these are brand new things that we're putting together. So like if I said a long term, okay, long term is both describing solution. So term and long kind of go together to describe the solution, which is why it's got a hyphen. One of the things that Grammarly does that drives me crazy, I don't like how it looks, but if I were to say 8th grade, okay, Grammarly likes to put the hyphen there. Obviously, Grammarly doesn't have the little line under the TH, so it doesn't look that silly, but they put a hyphen between 8th and grade. So if I said the 8th grade class, 8th and grade are very similar, so they're very related, which is why they would get a hyphen. I just think it looks silly. In all honesty, if you didn't put the hyphen, people would still understand. But when you put the hyphen, you know that these are working together. So like when we start talking about modifiers and what's modifying the noun, long term is describing something. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay. Okay, so now you've taken your notes, and what you are now going to do is you obviously watch this video on a Google form, and underneath are some questions. What I do want you to do is I want you to put your notebook away. I want you to show me what you can identify out of here, okay? The quiz is for you. So you're gonna take the quiz. If you end up not doing well on it, then I would rewatch this video and make sure that your notes are all exactly how I have them. Don't try to take any shortcuts, okay? Tomorrow when you guys come into class, bring me any questions you have over nouns, compound, or the different kinds. And we'll be working with nouns a little bit when you guys come in on Monday. So make sure you have that all ready to go. I will see you guys in class.